Welcome to the Hemp Del Soul podcast. All health, no high. Here's your host, Mary Lisa Lawless.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hemp Del Soul podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Wolf, joined by your host, Mary Lisa Lawless. Mary Lisa, always a pleasure to see you. And I got to say, this is a breath of fresh air, the sunshine, the soul shining upon me off the heels of this glorious week of illness that I'm coming off of. But I see the light, and I'm ready to break through the other side with you here today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, we'll both be coughing today. My allergies and the weather and the rain. It's like it's been a little crazy.
It's been a funky week, hasn't it? It's been just for a lot of people. So
look at my backdrop. I cannot figure out my computer. I can't figure out. We're doing this on my iPad today, and I couldn't figure that out either because I'm not an iPad person.
But we're here nonetheless.
We're here.
And I know you recently, I think in the last issue of Cooper City Living, you did an article talking a little bit about Hemp Del Soul, your space, and kind of what you offer at your location. I know it's different than your typical CBD store, the ones that you see in that just sell products. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I know you're focused a lot on mental well-being and mindset and everything that goes into that. How do you ensure that your space is welcoming and comfortable for everyone that walks through the door?
It actually is kind of easy. Since we've been in this space for over 30 years, it has become a second home for us, and creating it to be a safe and welcoming space was actually kind of easy. So when you walk into our store space is also a waiting room because my sister's a psychologist. We're both family therapists. We've been doing this for a really long time. And out of that, we knew that the space in general needed to be comfortable. So when you walk in, there's meditation music playing on the TV with something pleasing, whether it's ocean sounds or just having something that feels comfortable. There's no loud music. There's none of that. It's just a comfortable space. And there's a couch and there's a couple of chairs and there's a fish tank with a little beta that's in my fish tank there. And he's got his little jungle to swim through. So we've got a little bit of nature going on. And I've yet to have anybody ever walk in and say, oof. Everybody that walks into that space, it's like, oh, wow. It feels so nice in here.
Yeah, it's very tranquil, relaxing environment for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of that has to do with the progression of who we are as people and what we do professionally, just trying to create that sense of safety with everyone. And that doesn't mean it's whether you're a patient or a customer, a client or somebody that's just walked in to say, hey, I heard, I'm looking for some CBD. And anybody that walks in here says, wow. And they don't mind sitting down and talking. We do a lot of education. So
I was just going to ask, I know education is so important to you.
Absolutely.
Maybe share with listeners why education on CBD is so important and how you go about educating the community on, hemp-based products.
Well, first I find out why they're interested in CBD. Why are they interested in a hemp-based product versus a marijuana-based product? What's going on in their life? So I'd like to have 15 or 20 minutes to talk to people. So most people that come into our store have a little bit of time to talk. And that's why I tell people to text me also to make a time so that I can devote some time to do some education with them. And it's important because we're using this as an adjunct to therapy in a lot of cases. But people that are just walking in, often they're coming in for a parent or they're coming in for a spouse. They're coming in for their kid. They're coming in for somebody else, not themselves. So it's important for me to figure out why they need it. Because if I don't know what's going on with them, I don't know what to recommend. And from that recommendation that conversation about the product, then how do they want that product administered? Do they want a capsule? Do they want a tincture? Do they want a topical? Is it a specific pain area? Is it a specific thing? Is it overall body pain? Is it overall anxiety? I need to figure out what specifically is going on with the person that they're looking for this product for. And that's part of what goes on in the store. So yes, we have the crystals, we've got all these specimen pieces, we've got the CBD, and it really is, what do you need? And that's not going to come from, hi, come in, what do you want? Here it is, goodbye.
Yeah,
That's not the kind of store that we have.
It comes from good communication and a kind of a patient-specific approach to folks coming in and really learning about, as you said, their situation and what you feel is going to work best for them. And that only comes through having a discussion with them. And that's great that you take 10, 15 minutes in some cases, probably some cases more out of your day to, kind of go through this. And I think that's unique in what you do for sure. What role do crystals play in your store? And how do you approach teaching and educating customers about that?
Well, the crystals are interesting because I've had the crystals here for a long time, but I never really did much with it. I didn't really talk to people about it. I just let whoever was attracted to something and they would buy it. And that was that. Since adding the CBD and making it an official retail store, we've had a lot of types of crystals because we've started to understand how crystals impact people energetically. And the way people come in that, young people or whatever, they come in and they buy it, it's about what they're attracted to. But sometimes it's also about what their issue is. And I just had this discussion earlier today with someone about citrine. So citrine is a yellow crystal and it's a type of quartz. Citrine is associated with, if you're looking at chakras and you're looking at other energy systems and how we heal, yellow and citrine is a yellow crystal. So it's connected to your solar plexus so in therapeutic terms, we use it as your inner child place, the place of healing trauma, the place of doing the gut wrenching work. So gut response, all these different things that are connected to this particular, the solar plexus area of the body. Citrine is the crystal that we use in a meditation base for helping that to heal. So when people come in and when they're attracted to that one, I'll say, oh, that's for healing trauma. And people are like, oh, okay, got it. Yeah, no, that's the one I need actually. So it's that kind of thing. Crystals have a different meaning for different people, but on the mental health side, there's also a connection there. And our whole philosophy is about medication is a last resort, not a first resort. So the crystals obviously do no harm at all. Maybe to your pocketbook sometimes, depending on how big the piece is. But other than that, they don't hurt people ever. There's no side effects, no negative side effects from owning crystals, holding crystals, having crystals in your home, having crystals in your bag, in your purse, in your wallet, and whatever. Yeah. And so that's the basic. And then with the hemp and the CBD products, and the reason we chose hemp versus marijuana is we wanted to do more for the body and not the head. And the marijuana is more of a head thing, and the hemp was more for the body. So again, okay, let's try this instead of medication first. And I've had people, friends or whatnot that have said, no, I needed medication. No judgment, no criticism. Everybody knows what their body needs if they're listening. So the crystals play a part in that realm. And they're all something different. Shungite's another one that's pretty popular these days. You hear about it more, but the shungite is connected to clearing electromagnetic fields. I just got a whole shipment in of shungite bracelets. They call them triple protection. It's from Corelia Creations. And she's amazing. And she makes these really awesome, beautiful bracelets, but everything has shungite at its base. And we're on our tablets so much, our computer, our iPads, our telephones. televisions, telephone. We're on all of these electronics, and that we know on a science side, it's not just in my head, that the shungite helps to block the radiation.
Interesting.
So it's like just learning little bits and pieces about different crystals along the way and what they're good for. And just figuring it out with each person as an individual. There is no cookie cutter plan for anybody. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. And I think it's interesting what you alluded to earlier about it doesn't hurt to try, right? Other than maybe your pocketbook and buying them. But like, even if you're one of those people, like a lot of people hear about crystals and they think immediately they go to the woo woo. Oh, but we are all energy. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. So like, take aside all of the claims of crystals actually having, going into your chakras and aligning, and this one is this. Even if you just, like you said, you have this crystal that you wear on your hand, even if just having that on your body makes you feel a little bit better, well, then it's working.
Absolutely.
Just like any other jewelry.
Every day, I've got different.
And if you feel differently, if you feel a different vibration, or you feel that, hey, the bang is worth the buck.
Yeah, you wear your wolf. Like, I'll change.
I don't have it on. I've been sick all week. I haven't put it on all week, and maybe that's why I'm I don't have it on now. I feel naked.
Yeah. See, and I'm wearing this right now. This is a type of turquoise, and you can't really see it, but it's like this speckled, all these different colors and blues and purples and thing. And it's from the Mojave Desert in California. It's just a specific type of turquoise, which is just very healing. So everybody is attracted to different things. What I find most fascinating about the attraction to the crystal piece is that when I tell people what the metaphysical meaning is, what the energetic meaning is of a crystal, it is always spot on. It's always like, oh, that's interesting. That's exactly where I'm at right now. And these are people that I don't know and don't have a history with. So that's the piece that's always fascinating.
Yeah, funny how that works.
With the CBD, it is very interesting how that works. So it's always fascinating to see where people are at and what it is that they need. And at the end of the day, treating each person as an individual is the most important piece. It's the most important platform to come from. You're not just going into a gas station to pick up this CBD product, because you don't know where it comes from. You don't know how it's manufactured. You don't know what it is. They're just there to sell this product, period. I don't sell anything that you can smoke. I have people that call me to ask if I have vapes, to ask if I have flour, to ask if I have all these other products, but I do not carry anything that you can smoke because it's not good for you. I don't care what it is you're smoking. It's not good for you. It's not good for your lungs to bring in that kind of energy into your breathing system. And lungs are really important because, again, they're connected to love. They're connected to your life. They're connected to finding that breath of healing, the healing breath.
Deep breath in. Let's do a Wim Hof breathing exercise before you go. No, but what I wanted you to do to wrap this up, on the note of your personalized approach to your business, can you maybe share a memorable experience where your focus on listening led to a positive outcome for one of your customers or clients?
Oh, I probably have a lot of them.
Does one story come to mind? So
this one man walks in. I ask him how, he wants to buy some CBD for his parents. And he's a middle-aged man himself. His parents are aged. And he says, I want to get this for my parents, but I don't know anything about it. And I just heard that it might be good for them. And he walks in. I start to educate him. I'm asking him some questions about what's going on with his parents. I make a recommendation. And I say to him, how did you hear about us? Because he's not somebody that I know. And it's not somebody I've met at an event or anything, because I have a pretty good memory for faces. And he says, I saw you on Google. And he said, you have 5 stars for everything. So fast forward, I recommended a product. He takes it home. His parents do better on it. He comes in again, a second time. to get more and to maybe try something else for himself and for his parents. And because his dad started taking his mom's stuff too. And so now all three of them are going, he's got his dad and his mom are both taking it. Now he's going to try it. And he sat down and it was kind of interesting. And he said, because we were again talking about the progress, talking about what shifted and again, tweaking what it is that he's getting. And he looks at me and he says, I look at these Google reviews and you never really know, whether they're real, not real, whatever. He said, but you're really real. You actually do care. And that was it. And it was like, yes, I do care. It's not just about making a sale. It's not just that. People have told me my prices are less than other people for the crystals and everything. And I said, I don't need to, I'm not here to rob people or to make, huge amounts of money, although money's really good. But
it is helpful for sure.
It is helpful, so, but for him to say that, he says like, you're real. Yeah. And that was just one person who randomly walked in. And, and it sort of goes forward with that, but that's not an unusual response. The people that know me obviously know that this is my heart. This is part of what I do. And it's just who I am. And I try to offer a healing presence for everyone who walks through the door. And it sort of goes from there. I like to do events. I like to get out because I am here by myself most of the time. And the events, I like to talk to people. So I like to get out and do events. I'm supposed to be doing events for the next 2 weeks, weather permitting. It's been a little crazy with the weather here. I've been so looking forward to the weather cooling down so I can go back to doing outdoor events. Just being out in nature and being able to do stuff and talking to people. And again, educating people. That's who I am. I like to guide people on their own healing journeys, whether it's some stranger that's walked in off the street looking for a crystal or CBD, or somebody that wants therapy. And I've had both. And I've actually had people that have come in for CBD and crystals and say, you do therapy too, don't you? And do you maybe take my insurance? And I've actually had a few patients from that. That's kind of interesting in and of itself because that's not the intent. My intention is to offer healing to people in as many forms as possible, whether through meditation, through crystals, through CBD, or just being able to listen and hear where people are at.
Well, your heart is clearly in the right place, and it shows and it does shine through bright. Mary Lisa, always a pleasure.
Always. Continue healing yourself.
Yeah, I'm working on it. And if I don't see you before the holiday, have a wonderful holiday. And I'm sure we'll connect after the glorious New Year, into the New Year.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Have an amazing New Year's yourself.
All right. Thank you. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. And we will catch you next time. Everyone take care and happy holidays.
Thank you for listening to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. Explore our wide range of organic products at hempdelsol.com. That's hempdelsol.com. Or contact 954-854-1039.